All right, Canada Blooms rolls into Toronto this week, and it's not just a great place to get inspired for your spring landscaping and gardening projects. We brought in Dennis Flanagan to tell us all about the benefits of indoor composting. Good morning, Dennis.
Hi, Liam.
Thank you very much for coming in. And, you know, I have a slightly green thumb, but hopefully you can make it a bit greener with this segment here. So tell the viewers generally the do's and don'ts of composting.
Yeah, do's and don'ts are you've got to get it working actively as quickly as possible. You want to get the temperature up, and that's the real secret, turning it, aerating it, whether it's outdoor or indoor composting. So this time of year, we often sort of forget about our houseplants. And you mentioned snow. Don't mention snow anymore, please.
I'm sorry. I'll take the memo for next time. Next time you're here, no snow mention.
Sunshine's going to happen.
Sunshine, yeah.
And what's going to happen is our plants indoors are going to stretch for that light. They're going to start budding. They're going to start flowering, which means they actually need some fertilizing. All right. And you can use a regular granular fertilizer if you like, or in fact use compost. You know, so your producer actually said you love getting your hands dirty.
Yeah, sure.
So you can see here that this bulb of hyacinths needs topping up, basically.
Right.
Some of the roots are coming to the surface. We want to cover those up, and we want to add some nutrient, because a lot of energy is being spent producing the buds of these beautiful hyacinths, which are going to bloom and have a great fragrance in a few weeks.
And what's the process of composting when it becomes this? Because a lot of people just simplify it and think it's just rotting, but there's so much more that's happening.
There's so much more. There's quite some science behind it, actually. So you could go out and just purchase a commercial product from a garden center, and that's okay. Or if you're a real avid gardener, you could produce your own compost, either outside or indoors.
Oh, perfect.
And the science behind that basically is this clever little unit here. It's called a vermicomposter. This is how you set it up. It's basically, if you tip some shredded newspaper in there, that's the carbon that we want. And then we're going to tip some soil in there.
Perfect.
Some peat moss and soil. That all gets mixed up. And then actually a secret, this goes into the oven for 2 feet. No.
Could you imagine what that would smell like? Great.
Then we add the secret ingredient here. So this is a finished one that's been working for a couple of few weeks here.
And it actually doesn't smell that bad.
It doesn't smell. It smells peaty. And if you poke around in there, maybe with your hands, maybe with this, you're going to find the secret ingredient in here, which are...
Oh!
There, you see?
Oh, wow.
700 red wriggler worms have been added to this mix, and that's the component that makes the compost. Outdoors, that happens naturally. When we're doing this inside, we have to add the worms to it. And so what you do is you then have to feed the mix. So what we're going to do is we can see quite clearly what you had for breakfast here, Liam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some eggs, some orange peel.
There you go. So you're going to add that to it.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
And just like that.
Just like that. And then we're going to cover that up. We don't want any little fruit flies. And
cover it up. Dennis Flanagan.
That's going to sit.
Thank you so much for coming in. Easy peasy. Just like that. Composting, making the world a better place. And then you have fantastic flowers like that for the spring season.